Let's
Okay.
do it.
Let's do it.
Let's do it.
Hello, friends. Welcome to Music Nation Speaks, where we talk about our music journey, the impact of music in our lives, and also our current music industry. Yeah. And today we have the one and only Steve Nanda.
Hello.
Press the clap button.
Oh, okay.
Okay, so let's get right into it. All right. When did you start playing?
When did I
music?
start playing?
Mm.
I started very casually at 10
10.
because my dad had a drum set.
Oh.
He used to have this music school, and so he used to have a room with a drum set, and so I'd just go and play a little bit, nothing serious, you
Right.
know. But then, we used to go to church,
Yeah.
and there was always,
Oh, so you're the church boy.
I was a church boy, yeah. Not anymore. But, yeah. But so,
Yeah.
it's always an opportunity to play.
Yes.
And so that was easy, just going and playing.
Mm-hmm.
And then when I was about 12, I got more serious,
Mhm.
started really getting into it. So,
Right. So when you were 12, the drums chose you.
I would say, yeah, when I was 12, yeah.
like Pokemon like that, huh?
Like Pokemon, okay.
Yeah.
Oh, it's the, okay,
Yeah,
I'm
I
sorry, I'm a
choose
bit
you.
slow and all this. Yeah, okay, yeah.
It's okay. But so you grew up in a musical family, would you
Yeah,
say?
so my dad's a musician, he's a guitar player.
Yes.
Yeah, so music's always in the house.
Right. And how would you say growing up in that has influenced you as a musician?
I think the good thing is that I know music from the past. I think a lot of maybe people my age or slightly younger than me don't necessarily know.
Right. Like me, like when I was growing up, all I listened to was like Michael Jackson and ABBA.
Okay,
That's
which
it.
is also cool.
I
I mean, yeah, but so that's the advantage.
Right.
You grow. You're in a place where there's always. And my dad used to have like just collections. Like just music all the time. So you pick up on what you like and what you don't.
Right. What kind of genres?
Mostly fusion jazz.
Oh.
That was what he was doing. He was playing a lot of fusion jazz, and
Oh.
he was listening to, I would say, only fusion jazz.
Wow.
So I grew up with that, So
I
that's
see.
why that's still my favorite thing to play.
Ah, no wonder lah. Like the
Yeah.
way you hold drumsticks and I'm like,
Yeah.
I see.
Yeah. So
Okay.
that's that.
I see. Okay, so then at age of 12, you said, yeah, I'm gonna do it seriously. Were you taking lessons then already or just like self-taught?
I mean, I was always self-taught,
Mm.
but I understood independence-wise. I always knew what to do. And when you listen to a CD recording, or this is before YouTube, right? So you still have to kind of figure things out, and it came easy enough to me. Not the quality of it, because there's a certain quality that you don't understand when you're just starting out.
Yes.
But I got the idea of, this is where the bass drum goes, this is where the snare goes.
The sound.
Yeah.
You picked up the sound.
Yeah, that's right. So, so I used to do that. Just I spent like I didn't have a after school life. It's like I just wanted to practice. I think most musicians will, if you start young, you hear the same stories and you're just obsessed with practicing.
Yeah.
So I did a lot of that. Just always playing along to
Something.
So.
Yeah, but that's because I feel you had the freedom to play whatever you wanted to play.
Yeah, sure.
Because like nowadays, or even back then when I was learning music, it was always in a classical, traditional sense.
I see.
Where like, okay, this year we're aiming for grade 3 exam. After school, you better practice.
Right. Okay.
So we are still practicing, but not in like that. Yeah, today I'm gonna go home and try this and that and da 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 da.
Okay. Yeah.
You're
not internalizing anything.
No.
You're just okay. Yeah, that's different.
Yes.
That's good for some things. Yeah.
Yeah, we'll get to the piece of paper at the end.
Okay.
Yeah. So from there, when did you get into the industry? Like the industry, I guess.
I mean, my dad was working some hotel gigs. So when I was 16, I had my first like contract, you know.
Wow.
Yeah, I mean, it was okay.
Yeah.
It was like, 6 nights a week,
Right.
5
working
sets.
6
Yeah,
nights
yeah,
a week,
yeah.
5 sets a
Not
night.
like today's hotel contracts, like those days, like.
I don't know what those days are.
Well,
Can you elaborate?
It's like that, 6 nights a week and 5 sets, 4 sets and then 5 sets on weekends. So it was
Of music.
yeah, of reading, yeah.
Oh, and
So
you were 16
I
then.
was 16
So you were playing with your dad.
with my dad.
Dad.
Yeah.
How was that like?
It was okay. I mean, I grew up with him, so it was just like being at home with him.
And then now you have to work with him.
Yeah. So it's the same thing. It's just like we're going
Right.
for lunch or
Right.
we're playing, or doesn't matter, right? It's my dad,
Yeah, just jamming. that
Just
kind of
jamming, just going.
thing. But like the dynamics, it's a little different, right? Because you're working. Like, I mean, for example, like me and my sisters, we have like a trio together. So because we grew up together, so a lot of things that you don't say to other people, you can say. Like, hey, why you play like that lah? I tell you how many times already,
Yeah,
that kind of
okay,
thing.
okay.
Yeah, did you ever get that?
Well, I mean, my dad's very easygoing. Okay, he just lets me do whatever I want.
Okay.
Good or bad, he just accepts it.
Nice.
So he's never been like
Too
you got to do
critical.
this. No, actually not critical at all. He's just let me be. you know.
Really?
So he's never been like you got to practice or you got to do this. Never. Like he just let me be. So
Wow.
so I never had that pressure from him.
Really? That's so nice. Like, did he have any, like, do you feel that he had any expectations for you?
None.
So
None.
he just let you be.
He just let me be. I mean,
Yeah.
I just played music, and I think
And getting some cash
getting
along
some
the
cash
way.
along the way, yeah.
Helping out the family a bit.
That's right. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, so after that, when you started getting your contract gigs. and things.
I mean, this period is a funny period, because I was very critical of myself. So I was always comparing myself to everyone else.
Like who?
I mean, I can't say who. I'm not gonna say who, but
yeah, okay.
but
People are.
but people in
peers.
general, yeah, or I hear people comparing me, and even just myself, just because especially when you don't have a teacher, you don't understand. I don't think you really understand the process of not this is not for everyone. At least I didn't understand the process of learning. So I had just put in so much number of hours, and I got some results, but I never stopped to think. Oh, okay, so that was the process, hence you get somewhere.
Right.
So I hit a wall pretty quick, right? And I thought, okay, I'm going nowhere. So I was very depressed. I was like, oh my god, this is like, I don't think I can play music. It's not for me.
Because you had somewhere that you want to go, but you didn't know how to get there.
Yeah, I had I always had all these big
Right.
ambitions, But I just thought, I mean, and I was living in Rawang at the time, So,
Man.
so it was like, I was like, okay, what it's not for me.
Yeah.
I just didn't know how to go about it.
Right.
And so it was a funny period, because I stopped playing at 18.
Stop
I
playing.
stopped playing for a while, and then I started again.
For how long?
About 2 years, I would say, and then.
Why?
Because I just didn't like how I sounded on the drums anymore. I just thought I was bad,
Right.
I didn't. It was frustrating. I couldn't go further. So, but then I started teaching at about 20. I started playing again. I started playing. After I stopped playing, I started playing casually with people. So
Okay.
if someone said there's a gig, or then I would play. And
Mm.
so of course I could still play.
Yeah.
Of course I was playing better than average.
Yes.
Better than your average drummer, because I put in all those hours for 4 or 5 years already. So but I always had that, but maybe I didn't have the same stamina. Or I didn't have the same accuracy or something.
Because you're not doing consistently.
Because I'm not doing consistently.
Yeah.
And I wasn't improving anymore. I was just there.
Yeah. You hit a plateau.
I hit a plateau, big time.
Yeah.
And so and I was always kind of like, spending my energy with everything else, because this was just frustrating,
Yeah. And we're young back then. And
I'm still young now.
I didn't say anything.
Yeah, okay.
With the baby
Fair
face.
Fair enough.
Nobody would say anything.
Well.
So just spending time doing other things and then playing casually.
Yeah.
And he started teaching.
Yeah, so I started teaching. I mean, that was, a consistent way to make money, right?
Mhm.
So I really, really wanted to make money. So,
Mhm.
so I started doing a lot
Really,
of that.
really wanted
yeah,
to
yeah,
make
no, I
money.
really, at that point, I really, was just done being
Broke.
So, so
Yeah.
I started doing a lot of that.
Mm.
And
How did teaching felt like for you?
I can't teach.
Oh yeah?
It's
Why?
It's not for me. I mean, I don't have the patience.
Ah.
I just don't. I mean, if someone's on a certain level, and if I can help the same way, that's okay for me because I enjoy it and I'm 100% in it.
Right.
In the development of the person.
Right.
But if it's just for the money, and if someone's not really interested, or maybe that someone should be doing something else,
Yes.
then it's hard for me to stand there and. Some people say, well, you should still be able to do it because if you're still being positive, it's a positive thing.
Right.
I find it hard.
Right.
Because I don't see anything with the drumming. So I'm not so much about the positive experience
Right.
of it, but I'm more like, let's get the drumming somewhere,
Yes.
So that's always hard for me.
Right.
Unless I see the guy's
The
really
potential.
potential, or he's really. I mean, some people are not so talented, but they really have that focus and the drive. Then you say, of course, you can get somewhere for sure.
Right.
So then I'm more involved in the teaching.
Yes. Thank you for being honest, because I feel like a lot of teachers nowadays, they're in it for the money, and I feel like there is a balance. Yes, skills is very important, but also the relationship and the whole, like, the journey thing, it has to be consistent with the skill.
Right.
Some people are just like, you know what, let me babysit you for like half an hour.
That's what it has become for a lot of people.
Yeah.
I mean, in some ways, I understand.
Yeah.
I can sympathize with that. I empathize with that. I can find a connection to that because everyone has to work.
Yes.
And people
we need to pay bills. Yeah.
And also sometimes it is babysitting.
Yeah.
If you're okay with that, and if the kid is doing something positive anyway, it's going in somewhere, you know. So I'm not gonna knock that down.
Yeah.
I'm just gonna recognize that it's not for me.
Yes.
I can't do that, you know. So that I make very clear for myself,
Yes.
And sometimes I still, when things are hard, like there are times where I still did it, and because I need to pay my bills, and I try and be as honest as I can, the situation.
Yeah.
But I totally understand why one would have to do that, you know, and so that's that. Yeah.
So you started teaching, and then after you stopped playing for a while.
Yeah, so I mean, kind of like it's been kind of iffy, and then I really didn't want to play anymore at maybe 22, around this age,
Right.
and I also felt just like I mean, nothing was really working for me. I wasn't playing with anybody else. It was just. Maybe the people who were playing with me didn't have a choice to. They had to play with me. That was a feeling anyway. And then at this point, very, very funny time. I was very close to this drummer named Rick Omar. Okay, so he's one of our veterans in our industry, and he was very supportive of me. He's actually supportive to every drummer I know in the industry. He's very giving, and he's always trying to help, and so he really tried to help me, see if he can just talk to me and tell me no, it's okay, you gotta you can do this. And so then he was the guy who told Michael Verpen about me. He said, hey, check out this guy, set you guys up. And so when he said why don't you there's an opening, just go and play, try and play. And I thought, oh my god, Michael Verpen,
Indeed.
Okay, And so that was at 22 or 23, I think, around this age. And for me, that changed everything.
Yeah? How so?
How so? Because I was musically, I wanted to express certain things that I couldn't express with. If Michael was not around, I just wouldn't be able to express that side of
Yes.
of who I am.
Yes.
Or I would say just that's the only side I have.
Right.
You know?
Right.
And I think
And what side is that?
it's just a different way of looking at music. I
Mm.
think it's just a different, and I think a lot of people just looked at me and thought, this guy is weird, you know?
Full of himself.
Yeah, it's just he's strange,
Yeah,
you know?
yeah.
But I think with Michael it worked because
Yeah.
that's the kind of music that requires that.
Ah.
Some different kind of
Perspective.
approach,
Yeah.
approach of playing.
Yep.
And so my first rehearsal was the gig. I still remember Alexis, you know, it was just like, okay, just go and play.
Ampang. Alexis
Ampang.
Ampang.
The
Oh,
first,
wow.
with the first stage, you know, where it was on this.
No.
Okay. So it was another stage, not like what we have
today. Okay.
today. And so and then he would just say, okay, swing or Latin or whatever, and then just play the gig, you know.
That was the rehearsal.
That was the rehearsal. The
During
gig
the
was
gig.
the rehearsal. Yeah.
Oh my god.
So you know, I mean,
Yeah.
I got a lot of looks and you know, a lot of, you know.
Yes.
But
was it helpful?
Yeah, well, at the time it was scary, but that became a relationship. You know? So I learned so much. You know? I'm still my closest friend, so I still learn from him all the time.
Yeah. Would you say that he was like your first mentor?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely. He's and still is.
Yes.
You know?
Yes.
So, I mean, he really literally changed my life. So that's nothing much more I can say to that. You
right.
know?
In what way did you think that? Because how did he pull you out of that shell of not wanting to play?
He trusted me. He saw something that nobody else saw. Or maybe a few people saw, but he was in a position to be able to see it and say, okay, I gotta bring this guy out. I know how to bring that out of him.
Yes.
And so and I was also wanting something like that.
Yes.
You know, so he, you know, I mean,
because you never had like is it because you never had like teachers when you're growing up?
Yeah. So I went in not being able to read so much, like, you know, things like that. You know, I definitely couldn't write. You know?
Right.
And so he would just throw the chart at me, and then would have these kicks. So I understand because I did classical piano a little bit, right?
Right.
So I understand what those things, you know,
meant. Like.
Yeah, that's right. But to read on the spot, forget it. You know, I didn't have the training for it.
Right.
So he would just throw all these things, and I would have to do it.
Yeah.
Right. And also he would sit me down and ask me to, you know, just the old Davies in Sri Asamas. He would actually get me out on a Saturday and make me write things.
Just like Yamcha and just write.
Yeah, so he would say, okay, this is the homework, go and do the homework. And I would come back and I would write all these funny things, you know. I have it somewhere, it looks terrible. And he'll be like, okay, good try, but...
A for effort?
A for effort. That's not how you do it. Let me show you. So he would take the time to kind of show me how to write things down and even like, you know, how to work Sibelius, you know, things like that. He was the first guy to say, hey, you know, go and get Sibelius. You know,
Right.
So that was the whole relationship. It's always like that, you know. It's I'm always learning from him. He's always giving me something.
And did that give you like a boost of motivation to like, yeah, I can do it.
Yeah, I mean, you know, this is our superstar in town. You know, here he is trusting me and saying that I can do it. You know, and I'm thinking, right. I mean, if he says I can, at the point I still didn't have any self-belief. But I thought,
then who am I to say I cannot do it?
That was the thing, right? So if he says I can, the least I can do is trust the guy, you know?
Right.
So that was that.
And since then, how has the journey been until before you went to Germany?
Yeah, so it's been, I mean, you know, I've been playing, since I started working with him, then we did so much different work, you know. I mean, I just played so much different music and improved so much along the way. But I never really went back to practicing like when I was a teenager. Really going in the room practicing and putting my work. So I still didn't do all that. And at about 28 now, so it's many years already, you know. 5 years.
You're only 28.
No, I'm 32 now.
Oh.
But at 28, at this point, at this journey,
Right.
I had no choice, but I had to improve. I had to
Right.
practice. I had to, And at 25, I told myself, because I tried seeing if I could do something else. So I
Yes.
tried looking at engineering.
Besides playing.
Besides play, I thought,
Mm-mm.
but still this and that.
Yeah. What's my
And
plan B?
what's my plan B?
Yeah.
And so then I did. I looked into engineering, and then, come on.
Why?
What the hell, Okay, so
Yes.
then I decided, okay, music,
Yes.
But then at 28, I really realized that if I don't give this 100%,
Yeah.
I'm just gonna be nowhere.
Yep.
I need to improve. I need to keep improving, but I'm not improving at least to my potential.
Yes.
I'm not doing it.
Yes.
I'm not doing myself justice.
Yep.
So that's when it really started, and my good friend and our local drum hero, John Thomas,
Hey.
he has a studio,
Yes,
and so he was very nice to.
Even back then?
Yeah, what, 5 years ago? Yeah, that's
Oh.
right. So he had this. I think it was not a full-fledged studio yet,
Ah.
but it was. He had the space,
Yeah,
and a
yeah,
few
yeah.
rooms, and
Yeah.
so he was very, very nice to let me have one of the rooms behind where I could put my drums and started practicing.
So those were yours?
At the back, I mean, this was a few years ago. Were you there?
No. Like now? Today? No.
Today, no.
Oh,
No.
okay,
I don't have
okay.
them. I sold all my drums here, so I don't have any drums here anymore.
I see. Okay.
But
So he was lending you the space to practice.
That's right. So I put all my things there, and then
Yeah.
he would be practicing in the other room. I would be, so it's very inspiring to hear him practice, and
yeah.
I'm practicing. So we're both, and then we have all 3 a.m. chats. And,
Yeah.
And but that's when I really started practicing again.
Right.
I mean, it's like just dusting off the old cobwebs,
Mm-hmm.
and then really 29, I left for Germany to reinvent myself.
Right. What made you? Okay, before I ask you that question, like, do you remember? I think this was like maybe like 4 or 5 years ago as well. Like, there were like shared sessions.
Right.
Like people come together, like drummers, like 5 drummers in the
Right,
same
right,
room, or
right.
like 5 guitarists in the same
Right.
room. Like it was like happening back then.
Right.
Yeah.
That was a trend. It was like it was going on.
Yeah, but I find it so good. Like it's so amazing because
Right.
it brought people together. It
Right,
brought
right.
like-minded people together.
Right.
And you share skills. Bye bye. Yeah, and you share skills and ideas. You bounce off each other, right?
Right,
But
right.
now we don't have it anymore.
Right, but for me, it was
Yeah.
it didn't matter for me because I never enjoyed the whole thing.
Really?
So I went once or twice. I just didn't. I don't know. It just didn't work for me.
Really?
It was I went for 1 or 2, 2 sessions, and I thought, oh, it was good. Okay, cool.
Yeah.
Just never. I've always been kind of a loner.
Okay.
Like I prefer to practice alone
Ah.
or with a band.
Yeah.
But 2 drummers, 3 drummers, I don't know what to do. I'm like, oh, okay,
Yeah,
so
yeah.
guys are busting our chops. I don't. I mean, it's good, it's cool,
Yeah,
It's you get to play some things, but I've never felt a connection to it. I would maybe actively make a decision to do it
Mm-hmm.
if I thought I wanted to achieve some few things.
Right.
Right. But I've always been like a closet practicer.
Right.
I wanted to practice on my own quietly,
Understand?
where I could,
Right. Or with the band because that's where.
or with a band.
Yeah,
with
yeah,
a
yeah.
band. Especially with a band,
Band.
because then you really have to,
Yeah. You have to vibe with everyone else.
That's
you know
right.
your role.
That's right, yeah.
Okay. And then, to the important question now. I think, what made you leave for Germany?
Oh,
Hmm.
well, okay. First, I wouldn't say leave,
Yeah.
because I'm still back always, I think everyone's like, weren't you like here last month, So yes, because this is my country and I
Yeah.
love being here.
Yes.
I'm just looking for opportunities to further what I need to further.
Mm.
And if something comes along the way
Mm.
and it offers me a way, just a way in, a way to do something that I can just push myself further, So that gives me that room to do it.
Right. Right.
So it could have been Italy,
Yeah.
I mean, you know what I mean? Could have been, I don't know, somewhere else. It
Right.
just and I'm very clear about, like, I'm really not leaving. Like, I don't feel like I've left Malaysia at all. Like, I come back and I say, okay, like, yeah, we have this new bubble tea brand, you know.
The alley.
Yeah, you know, we're not getting paid to. By the way,
But if you want to pay us,
you
that's fine too.
it's okay. You can speak to her. So I mean, some things I see some changes, but really, I'm always back home.
Right.
And it's for me. I think, especially today, it's cheap enough to do both.
Yes.
You know, you can kind of be there and here,
Mm-hmm.
but that allows me to, you know, I mean, I'm back to studying. I've never studied music, so I'm studying music, you know.
Yeah.
And the first year was just really hard because
In what way?
nothing made sense to me because I never learned by the books.
Right.
You know, you understand. So it's like, you know, all this theory stuff. I mean, come on, you know. I don't know. Just give me a set of drums. You know, put me on stage. Let's go. You know, let's not stop the rehearsal again and discuss where exactly.
Yes.
Let's just go and play. You know.
Yes.
So, but now, I mean, my third year in, I really enjoy learning. You know, I mean, being in, you know, just learning. It's given me a whole different mindset.
Right,
you know,
right.
Just learning and being able to, you know, just look at a certain goal and think, I want to do that a certain way, and then you learn that if you want to achieve that, there's a process.
Yes.
And anyone, I say that loosely, you know, anyone can embark on a journey.
Yes.
And say, okay, I wanna be a great arranger. I wanna be whatever, you know. Then you can say, okay, what do I need to do? What do I need to learn?
Yeah.
Who do I need to find?
Yes.
And who do I go under?
Yes.
Seek mentors. What do I need to do to get there, right?
Yep.
So I think that has opened that part of my world up, you know.
Yep.
It's like, okay, the possibilities are big, you know, with arrangements or writing or, you know.
More ways to get your answers, right?
That's right, you know. And also I think, you know, everyone has different sides to them that they need to express, you know. And sometimes it can be just this, sometimes it can be that, you know.
Right.
And so the more options you have,
right.
I mean, that's also dangerous because if you're always in everything, that's bad, you know. So you need to identify what exactly what you're about.
Yes.
At the same time, you know, diversifying and always learning, does never hurt.
Yes. Like, I think for me, like, one of the reasons why I started this as well is because we don't get to really sit down with people like this to just talk, you know. And for me, it's every time I talk to people, it's very educational, and like what you're saying, your ideas, and like your story, it will relate one way or another. Even if you don't, you will learn something from them. And we don't get this in school. We don't, because in school people are like feeding you things, you know, whether you want to learn it or not. Like, they're like, take it, you know.
Eat that.
Exactly. You know. So back to putting in, do you feel like you've put in because you've been successful during your time here before you went on an adventure?
Gracious words.
I see you guys as we were talking just now, like you guys are like one of the first few people that were like, holy shit, like, you know, like opened up like my understanding of music. So I view you as successful. Yes.
Very nice, thank you.
So is that why you want to reinvent yourself after working and being in the scene for so long and having that?
The only reason is that I know there's so many parts of me that's not explored. I know it. After some, you know, the older you get, you learn more about yourself. Some people find that very young.
Yeah.
You can be 17 or 18 and you know yourself. It can be your surroundings, it can be education, whatever. You know yourself. So I think
a lot of self-awareness, though.
Right, and some people have it at a very early age, you know. But so in maybe most people, you know, you start to develop that maybe at 25, 26 to find what you're about, you know, or maybe even a bit older. Right, I think, you know, I know, me too. So, and I think that's a common scenario.
Yeah.
And
You have like the quarter life crisis thing. You're like,
yeah, that's
holy
right.
shit.
That's right. Yeah. Who am I? What am I about?
Yes.
And so I think when I look at myself and I look at my ambitions, I really have to go back and say, okay, all those things that I said as a 12-year-old, I'm gonna go and do them. Like, I owe that to myself.
Yeah.
Doesn't matter.
What were you telling yourself then?
I'll wait for all those things to materialize. Then I will come back and tell you those were the things.
You had some goals.
I had some very big goals.
Yes.
I have some very big goals. Okay. And but I realized that 12-year-old, because I wasn't influenced by anybody. It was just me and my world, and no one was telling me I couldn't. Now, when I got to about 16 or 17, I mean, people were just telling me, like, you can't do that. It's not for you. Sure. And my mistake is that I listened to that. Because you're young, you're stupid, you don't know shit.
Yeah.
So
and we were insecure.
Yeah, and you look to some people who were, like older than you, and you look to them up. You look up to them, and you think, okay, well, if he thinks so, he must be right. Maybe I am a piece of shit. Yeah. And so, I mean, then you if you're lucky enough, you get to revisit that.
Yes.
And see, okay, hey, maybe the guy, I'm sure he meant good, but maybe he was wrong.
Yeah.
Or at least I'm gonna prove it wrong.
Yes.
So I think that was the important bit, trying to see, okay, I'm gonna reinvent myself because I can. And I owe myself that. And I'm in a situation where I think early on in my life it wasn't so much a possibility to go and pursue something. Because of just various reasons. But I see myself, I mean, 4 years ago, I'm looking at myself and thinking, okay, wow, I'm at a place right now. I can go here or there. And to go here, I would give everything up, everything I know, all my comforts. But I would embark on this journey.
Yeah.
I don't know what's going to go on, but I don't know what's going to happen, but I'm going to go with this.
Yes.
Or I double down on this. And just and it's also okay.
Yes.
But you need to just know,
Choose.
okay, yeah, which way you want to go.
Yeah.
And so 28-year-old Steve to 12-year-old Steve, I said, okay, let's go do this.
Yeah, I'm gonna fulfill your dreams.
That's right.
Yeah.
So I think that's that.
Yeah. So how is it like being in school for the past 3
Oh,
years?
it's very funny, I mean, you're sitting with 18-year-old kids and and they're quicker, they know all this stuff they learn from school,
Yeah, they're like,
you're thinking, right, okay, lunch break.
We're Asians, we look 18 forever, okay?
I think that was the only. I was lucky that I always passed up as 24, if not, 24, 25, I could, manage it, So no one's gonna be like, what are you doing here,
Yeah. Was that humbling though? Was that?
Very humbling.
Yeah.
And kids, I mean, they're sitting with you and they don't know if you're playing good.
Yeah.
They don't. They're just thinking, why are you so stupid?
What?
I'm sure that's what they were thinking. I was thinking, what's this? This guy's an idiot. How did he make it in?
In what way? What class were you having?
See, now you're going to look at me and you're going to think, because you were in the school and you're like, it wasn't that hard. But for me, it was hard,
I know. But you cannot compare because I've been doing like theory my whole life, the whole writing thing.
Right.
To translate that into playing, that's a completely different story,
Okay.
Yeah, but like, so what? How was it? Besides the children part.
I mean, it was.
Yeah.
The first year was just depressing.
Yeah.
The first year was just the whole
transition.
Winter, I mean, come on. Oh my God.
Oh my God, indeed.
Yeah. And also, I mean, that's one thing I want to tell some people. There were no Malaysians there, so I was the only Malaysian.
In Frankfurt?
In Mines, where I was studying. So I was sitting down on my own there, and I didn't know anything, couldn't speak any German, taking the wrong bus all the time, getting stuck in the wrong train station, having to wait 3 hours in -1 for the next train at 4 in the morning because I'm trying to get to every jam session.
Yeah.
That's why when people tell me they can't make a certain jam session because they're tired, I'm like,
Bro.
okay, right, seems legit, right? Because I was like trying to make every jam session, and I would, be not sleeping,
Right.
and trying to practice all the time.
Mm.
So the first year was just, I wasn't learning anything in school. It was just too much for me.
Right. Yeah.
Not having my comforts.
Right.
So
Yeah.
that was our grade full, That's traumatic when you don't have it.
True.
It's true, right? Tell them.
I mean, Boston had Chinatown, so
Okay,
we
but
had
was it like close?
Yeah.
It's good.
Yeah, like it was passable.
Yeah. That's what you need, right? When
Yeah.
when you're in a situation like that, you just need something to just help you through.
But we do have like Old Town Teh Tarik over there.
Wow.
That kind of like the package stuff.
You lucky guys.
Yeah, so I cannot complain much. But for
Okay.
you, I'm sorry lah.
But I found someone who makes nasi lemak
Where?
in mines.
Huh?
I know.
Malaysian ah?
I know.
Okay, I'm moving with the fella.
I'm very okay. Comfortable.
Finally,
I'm
after
all
3
set.
years.
After 3 years.
That's what you
She's
need,
been
right?
there 3 years, So, oh man.
And she makes nasi lemak.
Yes, really good nasi lemak.
Oh my god! How do you get the ingredients? Like anchovies
You
and.
can get everything there.
Oh.
That's okay. It's just you just have to find someone who knows how to make it.
Right. True. And then you just like here. Give me 10 of those.
Well, that's the trick, right? Because a lot of people have the ingredients, but they can't make it.
Yes.
So.
That's me.
I know, me too.
I can buy you the ingredients. I can wash your dishes also.
Right.
Yeah, but I cannot cook.
Yeah.
So, first year, transition year, difficult. Second year, how was that like?
Still difficult.
Yeah.
But of course,
Like you found your momentum lah.
Yeah, with a lot of help, There are a lot of good people there.
Mm.
People are very helpful.
Yes. And how is it like with your relationship with your teachers? Like tell people about like.
Okay, the teachers there are very helpful.
Mm.
And the one-to-one classes are all conducted in English. They don't have to, but
Okay.
they're accommodating.
Right.
So they're very nice about it.
Right.
And so it's a lot of fun. It's a lot of fun, a lot of learning. I think in Germany, most universities, nobody's really a dictator when it comes to you have to do this certain way or certain way. Everyone's very, very diplomatic about it, very nice about it.
Yeah.
So they allow the student to also express themselves.
Right.
I don't know if that's always a good thing
Because
because I think a lot of, especially with the young generation I see,
yes.
Anything difficult is something they shy away
Yep.
from.
Sorry, I say that very loudly.
Okay. That's just an observation, and
It is.
the tendency is to want to do just the cool stuff.
Yep.
Um,
And the things that will come really easy to them.
right. I think if I was a teacher, I would be more of a tyrant. A little bit more. I don't care if you like me or don't like me. I'm like,
yes. This is good for you.
look, just do those 5 things which are general things.
Yeah,
You
yeah.
have to do those things.
Yeah.
It's not whether you like them or not.
Yeah.
Then your style is another thing. You can do
True.
however you want to do it.
True.
But there's some things that you have to. So I think I would definitely approach it differently. But going back to the teachers there, they're just very nice and
Yeah.
very also very serious. I mean, when things have to be serious, people are serious.
Yeah.
So that's good. That's a good balance.
Yeah. Okay.
Mm.
So, I wanted to ask you this just now when we were talking, right?
Okay.
Like, when, because you're doing bachelor's degree now.
Yeah.
For me personally,
Yeah.
I think I wish that I had known myself a bit more before going right into college.
Okay.
Like what made you not pursue like undergrad right after? Like,
I mean, when I was saying just now, when I was
Yeah.
at a certain age, we just didn't have enough money to do all that.
right.
So it was just that was I don't I don't want to be talking too much about that.
Mm-mm.
But that was that.
Mm.
And when this opportunity came up,
Mm.
I was at a point in my life where I could try it, give it a shot.
You think?
I could
Yeah.
be 18,
Yes. Yeah.
basically.
Right.
Okay.
Right.
My family was doing well. Everybody was okay. You know, there was no, like some people have to come back.
Right. Responsibilities.
Responsibilities.
Yes.
At that point,
Yeah.
I didn't have to do that.
Mm.
When I was 20, there was more of that.
Mm.
It was just a different time.
Yep. Yep.
And now, you know, everybody is very independent.
Yes.
Everything's going on. You know, my
Yeah.
siblings are, you know,
Grown up.
yeah, my sister's in Germany. You know.
Oh, really?
She's in Germany. She just got married 3 weeks ago, and so now she's just moved back to Germany.
Very nice. Congratulations.
Yeah, thank you. So everybody's in a place where I don't have to be big bro anymore.
Mm. Are you the eldest?
I'm the eldest, yeah.
Ah!
So yeah. Okay.
You have how many younger siblings?
2. Yeah, 30 and 25. He's always 14 to me, so you know how it goes.
Yes,
right?
yes,
Always
yes.
14.
Yes, yes.
So and education's free,
Mm.
so it was just an easy decision to make.
Right.
Okay, it was just a matter of like, how are you willing to deal with it or
Yep,
not?
yep.
You know,
Are you willing to go back to living the student life?
student life
Or no?
or no?
Yeah, yeah.
And so that was it. Was when I, you know, when you have some goals, then it's an easy decision.
Yeah, yeah. And the reason why I say it is because like our education system here has always been like, okay, I know what's good for you, do this, do da 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 da.
Right.
We didn't have room to ask questions, right, when we were growing up.
Right.
But I think for you now, like, do you feel like you have, because you know who you are and what you want to learn
Right.
and what you want to absorb, right, from teachers, you can be more selective.
I always felt like I was always very opinionated.
Mm.
Like I was already a dick when I was 16. I was just like, you know, like people say I was arrogant or whatever, but I just knew what I wanted.
Mm.
So I was very stubborn, you know. And I think, you know, my parents thought I was a nightmare, you know. I was like a man 13-year-old boy. Like I just knew what I wanted.
Yes,
you know?
yes,
I knew
yes.
what, you know.
Yeah.
So I think I think some people say, oh, you know, so maybe it's good that you've gone now, you know.
Yeah.
I don't know. I think I would have been okay
Back
at
then.
20. Yeah, because I would be very stubborn, like
Yeah,
critical and like kind of like, you know.
Yeah.
At the same time, I've also, like, I have a certain respect for elders, like
Yeah.
most of us
Yeah.
in Asia at least, you know.
Yeah.
We have a certain thing where we go and we put our head down a little bit and say,
Yeah.
okay, hey, you know, show me, what does it mean to show
Yeah.
me? Even if I don't agree with it, okay,
I'll
at least
still
I'll
listen.
Yeah, listen at least to some point, and then
Yes.
I'll try and move on, you know.
Yeah.
And I think so. Even if I was, you know, being young, I would have done that.
Yeah.
But I still, you know, I was so ambitious that
Mm.
I would have been okay.
Right. How you learn would still be the same.
I think so.
Mm.
I think yeah. I wouldn't have to have, you know, like reverse, you know, like
Right.
now reverse big time and
Yeah, I get it.
yeah.
Man, that's so nice to know who you.
Yeah, and also, you know, and I was going through this period where I was just very depressed and everything because I didn't identify that I was ambitious. I was ambitious, but just the general, most people would just say, you know, don't, just take it easy.
Yep.
So when they say take it easy, when you're young, you don't know shit.
Yeah.
So you're thinking, oh, okay, and then you start getting confused and you start doing all these things, and only later on I realized that I'm actually just really ambitious, and I have to satisfy that need.
Mm-hmm.
And once I dealt with that,
Yeah.
then it becomes easy.
Yeah. It's okay.
Then
Like
it's
you
okay.
accept it.
You accept it.
Yes.
Because not everybody's going to be that way.
Right.
And not everyone has to be that way.
Right.
And
You accept it, and then now what do I do?
now how?
Mm.
Now how?
Now
What do
how?
I do now?
Yeah,
right?
yeah,
You know?
yeah.
Okay, I know some things, you know.
Yeah.
Do I listen to X? Do I listen to Y? Or do I listen to myself?
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah. So let's get back to the industry, right?
Oh, okay.
Oh, okay. So, to the industry, right? Let's start with what advice would you give to people who want to be serious in playing and making music a
Okay.
career?
Okay. I mean,
Yeah.
first I will start off with I'm still a young person in this industry, so for me to give advice would be a bit full of myself.
Right.
That's how I feel.
Right.
But to fellow peers or people my age or people who are younger who want to be a part of this thing, then I would have a few suggestions maybe.
Yes.
And I would say, okay, I mean, if you're already playing music a little bit in university, college or whatever, then you just have to get out. Where I go to jam sessions, I don't see those guys. Where are you guys? You have to play because like the more I play, just the more I realize I have to practice. Or I'm faced with things that I have to look at.
Yep.
And so if you're just trying to get into the scene and trying to get, you want to work with other musicians. So you have to get to know people, and you have to go and play. And it's different. When I play with you, I would have to play differently than
play with someone else.
Right.
It's different. Yeah.
So and also you have to kind of like me enough to get to know me, and then say, hey, I have a gig for you, or can we play a certain thing?
Yeah. The trust has to be there.
That's right. That's right. That's on every level. That's that.
Yep.
And I think if you're a young musician and you aspire to be working in the industry, that's, I think at the very least, that's what you should do.
Yeah. I mean, for me, when I was studying in ICOM, right, like, I learned the most when I went to watch you guys, and when I was out at Neurofico,
right,
or like at Alexis and places like that. Like, it was like, damn, this is like a whole nother level. How do I get from ICOM to there?
Right.
And like the getting up on stage, like jam sessions, everything, it was so brutal. It was so bad, but like
so necessary, right?
So necessary. Yeah, because then you don't know where you're lacking. If you don't know where you're lacking, how are you gonna improve? How are you gonna fix it?
If you're sitting down with 5 friends who suck just as much as you do,
yeah,
it's not gonna help.
Yes.
It's just, and I speak this. I can say for myself too.
Right.
You always wanna. I'll always try and surround myself with players who are better than me.
Yes.
And I still do.
Yes.
Even when I play with Michael, I still learn so much. I mean, I think that's the only way.
To really improve.
To really improve, so always just play with people who are better than you, people who have done more than you, and people who are in a place where you want to go. And sometimes the only way you can do that is by going and looking for those people.
Right. Like, and just this one instance, like surrounding yourself with people who care enough to tell you that you're right or you're wrong.
You see, but this I like this topic because this is the point where a lot of people won't, and I understand why. Because most times when you get involved in someone, you become the bad guy very quickly.
Oh, really?
Yeah, because you're saying certain things that people don't want to hear.
Oh.
And then they think, oh, this guy's not so nice, or he's, a certain way.
Right.
And so if you're looking out for a mentor or someone who has some authority in the industry to say something to you, you have to actively seek him out.
Yes.
You know what I mean?
Yes.
And you have to let him know that you're willing to
listen.
To listen.
Yeah.
So that he can say, okay, well, this guy's not going to take it the wrong way because he really wants to hear what I want to say. I've heard him play, and I think he's good, but he has to do this and that. I could help him. But the student has to actively seek out the master.
Yeah.
It's how it goes. I think a lot of people get it wrong. They think they can sit down here and then think the master's going to come to them.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Especially nowadays, I feel.
Okay.
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't know. I mean, I don't know. I don't know how was it back then.
Right.
I just know for myself that if I needed to go and find someone, and then if I like someone, I like the way he plays, so I like the way.
Right.
Then I would honestly just try and
get in touch
all the time.
Yeah.
Try not to be so annoying.
Yeah. That's a fine line.
That's a fine line, Just like that one girl in school you like, and you're always somehow around somehow the canteen or. And then you're like, okay, I think it's getting annoying right now.
Stalker mode on.
Stop it, Not that, okay?
Yes.
So, Don't do that. No,
Yes,
don't do
yes.
that. But yeah, actively you have to seek out people that they have to trust,
Yep.
that they can say those things to you
Yes.
and give you a helping hand.
Yes.
Because you need that.
Yes.
Everyone needs it.
Yes. Yeah. And one of the things that I find now is that the young, I don't want to say the younger one and the older ones. Like in this scene, there's no like it's just who has been in the industry more, the more experienced ones, and the newer ones. Like because it's like it's kind of cliquey as well.
Yeah, sure.
And there's a disparity between, I guess, the two sides.
Okay.
So, and I think people are afraid to ask as well because they're afraid to hear something that they don't like. Yeah. What do you think?
I mean, I think I also want to just point one more thing out.
Yeah.
When if I can go back to
Yeah.
10 years ago,
Yeah.
I would have been more active in seeking out people who are better than me. So I'm guilty as well.
Right.
And
why? Like
why?
weren't
Because that's what I'm trying to see. If I'm trying to think now, okay, to some who want to do this but who are not going out and seeking these things, then I guess maybe you just don't know. Maybe just no one told you, or you just didn't figure it out. So I'm not trying to run anyone down. Not trying to put anyone down.
Yeah.
So I think even I think everyone has certain tendencies,
Right.
and I would correct myself and say, okay, if I could go back, I would have actively gone out and seek more help, more advice.
Yeah.
Maybe also be careful because you go to the wrong guy, they put you down.
Right.
They don't want to see you come up. It can be the case too.
Yes.
So it's very tricky. It's very
Yes.
tricky, but still you should go out actively and when you point out about say the clicks
Yes.
and asking, and I think that's something where you just have to accept that when you're dealing with people, there's a lot of fear involved.
True.
There are a lot of insecurities that come with it.
Yeah.
And you gotta accept that this something I really had to accept is that I'm doing music. That's a people thing.
Yeah.
I'm not playing tennis here. I'm dealing with people.
And what's going on in here?
That's right. And
Yeah.
I think musicians, we're so inward,
Yes.
and because that's required that we need to practice, we need to express ourselves,
Yes.
but the scary thing is we get so inward, and I'm guilty of this a lot. So I have to always tell myself that I'm not going to play a drum solo alone. I don't even enjoy that. I actually enjoy playing with people.
Yeah.
That's what I like doing.
Right. Drum solo alone.
I mean, what am I going to do, But maybe some people like playing solo gigs,
Right.
Okay, but,
Has people asked you to play just drums
I've heard some people do it, like they just like playing drum solo gigs alone.
Okay.
Like I know.
Okay.
So but just understanding that those are the things that come with it.
Right.
There's that group and there's this group, and everything's always
Yeah.
out of fear.
Yeah.
Okay, if I went up and if they laughed at me or they dissed me, and then I'll be so embarrassed.
Right.
But what I realized that you cannot be embarrassed because if you go up, you're the big man.
Yes.
You're going and saying, "Hey, nice to meet you. Like to play with you," or whatever. And if they don't like it, that's okay.
Yep.
Then you gotta say, "Okay, well,
Right.
doors open. I always want to play. I
Yes.
want to learn. I want to improve.
Right.
I think you just have to accept it.
Right.
That you have to be that way.
Yes, and actually, that what you're saying right now. There's this kid at this jam session. I'm not gonna say who or what, but I really admire him. I think he's barely out of high school, right? And the jam session is filled with like people like you guys, like us, like who've been in the scene for a while. But like, he just went up, and I can see the expression on like other people's faces, like, what is this guy doing here? Like, he cannot play, da 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 da.
Right.
But for me, it's like it's a really good thing. Like, sure, like we all like that you cannot play, and people know that you cannot play, but you still came to the right place. the right people and you still want to play. Like I think that takes courage, and it takes a lot of like, you know, shedding that ego and that pride down, and just wanting to learn, just wanting to be around like really really good people. So for me, like when you said that kid came into mind, and yeah, there's hope lah.
Yeah, okay,
There's hope.
okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, if his intention is to learn and keep improving,
Right.
then those who look down will always look down.
Yes. Yes.
We've always, you know, I think when I think back, there's so many people who said, "Oh, don't play with him," or "Don't do this with him." Or,
Yeah,
"Don't do-"
yeah.
If the guy's a bad person, you know, he's gonna take your money away, or, you know, then okay.
Yeah.
But if he's not such a good player, he's not as good as you, or you know, some people say, "Oh, don't play with this guy, he's weird," you know, but come on, man. We all were once there, and a lot of days we are still.
We are still there.
you know,
Yes,
you know what I mean.
Yeah.
So I think if you want to get on into the industry and do these things, then you should adopt this kind of thinking,
Right.
where you just go out there, like you said, just play.
Yeah. And no matter what other people say, you do your
Yeah.
thing. Yeah. And you get the job done.
Yeah, and not to say it doesn't hurt, you know.
Right.
You know, peer pressure, you know. I mean, you know, but you also have to know that people always say something.
True.
They're always going to group together and say things,
something.
and you think, okay, well, I mean, maybe you're right. Cool,
Right.
You know.
And then
I'm gonna head to the practice room. You know?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? You know, you guys have fun. You know, what can I say? You know, I mean, maybe you're right. You know, then if those are the things I need to work on, I will work on them.
At least you're aware.
At least you're aware. Take it positively. If someone says, "Oh, you're terrible," you know, just say, "Okay, well, you know what? I'm just going to be a bit better next time I come." What else can you do?
Exactly.
You're not gonna
And what else
stop.
can you say, right?
What else can you say?
Yeah,
Maybe
yeah,
he
yeah.
was right. You know.
Right.
Then also just say, "Okay, well, all right. You know, hurts now. I you know, sulk for a while.
Right.
You know,
And then
bounce
you
back
won't.
tomorrow. Yeah."
Yeah. Okay, cool. So I have these.
What
So
the-
I put some thought into this.
Okay.
Hold on. Pick one. Actually, pick as much as you want. Pick as many as you want. Okay.
Okay. Yes.
I
knew this
don't know
was-
what I wrote. It's so small. I'm sorry.
Oh.
What is the question?
If you can only leave one thing behind in this world, what would it be? Wow.
I'm sorry. It's so morbid.
This question's for me?
Yeah.
I don't know. Kids.
Really?
Yeah, I should bless the world with more of me.
More Nandas running around.
No,
So one drummer now, one bassist.
Maybe
one-
That's a horrible idea.
No, you be the Jackson 5.
Yeah,
Yeah, the Nanda 5.
Oh my God. No, I really don't know. I don't know. I think the only thing I can say is that I enjoy seeing some other musicians, some other drummers, you know, who if I can show something or help along the way, that makes me feel good. You know, then I see when you do something with someone, you always see a little bit of you in them.
Yeah.
And then that takes on, you know, it takes its
Form
own
of
life.
its own.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
But you know, you feel it's like, oh, okay, so maybe I helped.
Yep.
Certain way. That feels nice.
The impact, yeah.
Yeah.
That you have.
I guess if that happens, that's a nice thing.
Right. Oh, very nice. Okay. One more.
One more.
Yeah. Actually, a few more. Like I think I put some thought into these questions, and I hope that they're good.
I always go for the
Yeah.
easiest.
Well, we know what kind of person you are.
That's true.
The easy road.
Easy road. Oh wow. Biggest fear. How to combat it? My biggest fear is I have the answer. It's just you don't know if you want to say it, you know.
Do you want to share it? Can you share it?
Yeah, I guess so. I mean, I think being replaced I think a lot of people won't admit it, but I
Do
think that's,
elaborate, yeah.
you know, you I think my biggest fear sometimes is, you know, like, who am I? You know,
Yeah.
am I just that?
Mm.
And I think when I get older, that will be a superficial question.
Mm-hmm.
But right now, that's the question I have to answer.
Right.
Or am I replaceable? Am I all these things? You know, I
Right.
think a lot of people will look at it and say, "Oh, it's very superficial. Why you
Right.
should just be one with nature and hug a tree."
Okay.
Sorry.
You took that route. Be one with
Just
it.
whack one in there. But I think at this point in my life, I would say my biggest fear is being replaced.
Like in terms of like.
Yeah, just work, or that's my identity. I'm a musician.
Yes.
I'm a drummer.
Yep.
And I am not at the level where I want to be. You know, so.
But you're already so good.
No, I'm not. No. I think
Just take a compliment.
I would say that I'm better than average. I would say that,
yeah.
you know, but I wouldn't say that I'm so good.
Right.
So,
Okay.
but if I was honest, that would be my answer.
Right. And why do you think that you would be? Why are you afraid of being replaced?
I think I think a lot of people just feel that way.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
I think it can just come from, could be, when you were 5 and another cousin showed up.
Yeah.
I mean, it could be so many things.
Your younger sibling popped up.
It could be so many things, you
Yeah,
know.
yeah,
I mean,
yeah.
if you just want to be honest about it, it could be all those things, you
Right,
know. Or in
right.
school, this girl found some other guy.
Yeah,
You're just not good enough.
No.
You know. I know. No self-worth. I mean, can come from so many places,
Right,
you know.
right.
And I think for me right now, my number one thing is the drums. Music. That's all. I really, tunnel vision right now.
Yep.
So I can only put it down to that.
I feel it too, because like, especially as a girl.
Yeah.
In the entertainment industry.
Yeah.
When I got back, it was like, man, so many new artists popping up. They're younger, they're more talented, they're prettier, you know. Like when you put it in the subjective
right, when you
way,
try to put it on paper,
list it down, like those are facts, right?
Right.
So what can I do to find a place of my own where I can still be relevant, but at the same time build something that is long lasting, that has longevity, and be able to sustain it.
Right.
And I think I found that through teaching.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So for me, like that's my passion. Like I enjoy teaching, not just because of the skill, but also because of the relationship, the nurturing part of it, of insight as well. How do you translate it into music? But and then when I have the financial side taken care of, I can do my music with ease.
You see, I mean, that's how everyone should know themselves.
Right.
That's a good example there.
Right.
You know,
It took me a while.
Sure, I think it's supposed to most of the time.
Right.
But that's a good example. You know,
Right.
like what you're about. You
know,
and what makes you happy, or what gives you meaning. You know?
Right. And I go and I teach every day with like.
You see, I mean, some people don't like it.
Right.
And that's great that when you go and teach every time, you come back with more energy, or you go with more energy. I mean, that's how it should be, right?
Yeah, and so that's why I'm always asking like fellow like friends, and like, well, are you happy doing what you're doing? And then what can we change? That kind of thing.
Yeah.
But that's just me lah, Okay, a few more.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, we're going to do this. But are there any topics that you want to touch on? Yeah.
Let's see what the question is.
Yeah.
What is my best quality? My best quality is also my worst quality.
Which is?
I'm so passionate and energetic. So that could mean very good things if I channel it right. Could mean disastrous things if I do not channel them right. So I would say my best and worst.
is your
my energy and my passion.
right.
My intensity.
At doing something.
At doing anything, just the intensity of it. Then I have to
Right.
go right. I think I better channel it into something productive.
Right.
If not, it's just whoa.
Yeah.
So I see that.
Steve Nanda can wreck the world.
Oh well, no wreck himself. Take a few people along, of course, sure, But I see that there's a common pattern though. With a lot of musicians and creative people, I see they have that side.
Yeah.
That but if you focus it, it's like
Yeah.
it's so primal.
Yes.
It goes back to our evolution as human beings.
Yeah.
We need that jungle thing. We need to go hunt. We need
Yep.
to. That's why we have sports, right?
Yeah.
And so I think music.
Get that testosterone.
No, absolutely. I think music gives you the place to express all those things.
Yes.
Love, fear, hate. War.
Everything.
All of it.
Yeah. Yeah.
And so I think
That one.
I
Okay.
would say that.
Okay. We're gonna go through it.
Oh really?
Yes, more.
Well, we know which one I'm going for.
Might as well just feed you one by one.
One by one to be easy. Oh, this one we did already.
Yeah? Which one? Oh, are you? Okay. I choose for you now.
Okay, you choose. Who? Okay. Who is the greatest influence in your life, musical career? Michael Verben said it just now.
Yeah.
So,
Nice.
that's the one. Yeah.
Okay, there's one more. I think that it's one of those in there, but I think it's important.
Okay.
How do we change the narrative for musicians? Like, we have a certain stereotype that is being said about us. I think, like, first of all, we don't have a proper 9-to-5 job. We're not stable at all, right? And second of all, it's like, oh, are you sure you want to be a musician? Like, it's gonna be hard.
Right.
And then third, it's like, oh yeah, now that you're in music scene, like the people that you hang with, obviously, bad lah, they do drugs and da 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 da. But I think for your case, it's kind of different, right? Because your dad plays music. He's doing music full time, and that's the norm for you. So have you? How do we change the narrative? And also, have you faced any backlash from being a musician?
But for me, I wouldn't change the narrative because I don't care.
Okay.
If you think that, good for you. It doesn't.
Just don't be in this.
Just don't. If some people say, can music, can we make money? Can we, are you sure? I think, should I do music? I think you shouldn't do music. You should. It's not for you.
Yeah.
It's not.
If you think like that.
No, it's not a job that you think I'm gonna take the weekends off. It's just not for you.
Yeah.
Music is it's really, it's a commitment.
Yes.
You have to. If you're in it, you're in it. If
Yes.
you're not, just go away.
Right.
Do something else. I think a lot of people would.
Yes.
Go get that bank job, do something, buy a nice house, get a few classic cars, enjoy your weekend. Those are my closet, loves. But, this doesn't allow that.
Yes.
It's really all in. You're
Yes.
gonna have hard months. You have to.
Yes.
I think the only thing I can say to musicians is that you have to. This is from all my bad experiences on my own. You have to learn how to manage your money. You have to learn.
So important.
That's all I can say,
Yeah.
And I think when I was watching an interview and Chick Corea said, they asked him and said, can you give us any advice for the music business? And he was reluctant. He didn't. He said, I can talk about the music, but I don't want to talk about the music business. And then this person went on, and he said, you know what? I'll just give you this. Just spend less than you make. Spend less than you make, and it sounds easy.
It's so difficult.
But it's it's challenging.
Yeah.
But I've learned in the last few years, that that's the only way you're going to improve as a musician. Because if not, you're not going to be able to sustain yourself.
Oh yes.
You're not going to be able to sustain improvement.
Yes.
You're not going to be able to say, I got this amount stored here so that I can take time now to go and really work on.
Just honing your craft.
That's right, and a few things that I really need to work on before I come back out again.
Yeah. Because if you don't have basic needs like food, shelter, and like
you're
right.
If you're looking for the next big car, you're looking for the next big house,
Yeah.
and then your money's just gonna go for that.
Yes.
Which is okay, but it's not gonna feed this part of you.
Yeah, yeah.
So then I would say that's the only thing.
Yeah.
But that's maybe a different question, you know. It's not so
Right.
much what we were discussing.
No, but it ties back to also like it ties a little bit, I think, in the on the relationship side. You know, like one of the things that we see as well, like, and I'm kind of guilty of it, like subconsciously, because like, yeah, like dating a musician can be difficult. You know, you understand, because like you said, it's a commitment.
Yeah.
This is not just a job. Like,
Yeah.
yeah,
It's not your. I think. I mean,
Yeah.
I think a responsible musician
Mm.
will get to a place where he or she will be able to take care of herself,
Mm.
and financially, that is. You
Mm.
know, I think that's a requirement. You know,
Mm.
I'm not saying that you should always be sitting down somewhere and just like, you know, oh, life's happened to me. I'm playing music to express. I'm writing another blues today about how my wife left me. It's not just that. You know,
Yes.
it's like you gotta. But there will be times where it's gonna be hard. You know.
Yes.
But I think the musician also has to be, you know, come to a place where there are people around you who are invested in you,
Mm-hmm.
and it's only right that you do right by them.
Yes.
And I think a lot of musicians I know have done so. Be very responsible family people. You know, take care of the children, and you know, bring, you know, provide for the households.
Yeah, yeah.
By doing just that, you know, really, really putting in the work for that.
Right.
So I think the person marrying a musician or getting into a relationship with a musician,
Yeah.
you know, if you should get a responsible musician, you know, it's gonna be okay, but it's gonna be hard.
Yes.
Every now and then.
Yeah. The uncertainty is still there.
It's gonna be there.
Right. Okay, one last one. One last one. You pick lah. Okay.
Okay. Well.
No, is that it?
Oh, okay. What are your routines to ensure a great day ahead? Okay, in KL, none whatsoever.
Really?
Because I love to eat our food. So I wake up and I'm thinking,
Eat.
what today?
What else do I need to satisfy?
Banana leaf again.
Today?
No, not today.
Okay,
but
okay.
that was the thought process.
I see.
But then, you know. Yeah, I know. Terrible.
Yeah.
I think when I do get into a routine,
Mm.
then I start, just because of my university life, I
Mm.
start every day. I'm always in university by 8 in the morning.
8
So
a.m.
8 a.m. So
Wow.
8 to 11, the rooms are free.
Oh.
So
Because kids don't want to go in and practice.
some kids do. Now there are a few kids who come in now.
Oh, really?
But also the teachers start teaching at 11, 10:30, 11. So I know if I did 8 to 11,
Nobody's gonna.
3 hours is done in the morning.
Wow.
For myself, right?
Right.
I've taken care of myself.
Right.
And then what I would always do is 7 to 9 or 6 to 9. So I get 3 hours again.
Right.
That would be, I would kind of plan my day around those two things.
Wow.
You know what I'm saying? So I would, let's say I usually would have classes around, I mean, if you have a gig or you have a rehearsal at night or something, then it's looser.
Yeah.
But in general, that's
Those
set.
2 chunks.
Yeah, because I gotta, that's to make me okay.
Yeah.
To make sure I'm sane.
Right.
I need those two things.
Wow.
So,
How important is it for you?
well, I mean,
Practice.
I can't function without it.
Really?
Yeah, and especially in the last few years, it's just no. I have to. It's not. It's like a drug, you know. It's
Yeah.
either I don't. I mean, I've given up drinking. I don't smoke anymore. I used to do all that, you see.
Yeah.
And so, I'm needing something,
Right.
you know. And
And
so
you're replacing one addiction to another.
I'm just doing that. So I'm not, you know, Dalai Lama or nothing, you know.
I'm calling your shit out.
No, absolutely. All the way, all out there.
Yeah.
So that's my addiction.
Mm.
My addiction is to practice and the good thing is it gets me somewhere. So.
Yes. I mean, not bad for an addiction.
Not bad for an addiction. Yeah.
Yeah, and then after that, you would go for classes.
Yeah, we have some classes. Like the last year now. I mean, this is my last year. The fourth year will be my last year.
Yeah.
There's just a lot less classes. So I mean, that should mean I can practice a lot more.
And go for like jam sessions a lot more.
Yeah, I could just be more involved. Yeah. I also wanna. I mean, I play piano quite a bit too, so I wanna kind of really go for it this year.
Right.
You know, and have some good piano teachers,
Right.
and it's a good place to really bring that out.
Right. Oh yeah, you mentioned that your piano teacher. Okay. Understand.
Yeah.
Okay, now it clicked.
So
I see.
Maybe I think this year will allow me to open up, as a musician, not just a drummer,
Right.
and also to work on arrangements and all these different things.
Yeah.
So that's gonna be nice.
So when are you singing next?
Only when we need rain.
Go to Brazil and start singing.
I know. I've been invited. I have to say, to say no.
Oh, I think someone's calling you.
phone.
Okay,
Actually.
but anyways, thank you so much for watching, Steve Nanda. Once again, thank you so much for doing this. I really appreciate it.
My pleasure.
And-
Thanks for having me.
So let us know when are you playing next, and let me know, and I'll write it down in the YouTube below, whatever, and then we'll see you again soon.
Okay.
Okay.
Ciao.
Bye. Yeah.